Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving straight into the hidden realities of your home's absolutely vital, yet often ignored, first line of defense, your roof. Let's be honest, most of us don't really spend a lot of time looking up at our roofs until something goes terribly wrong. But getting a handle on what's actually happening up there, that can save you literally thousands of dollars and a massive headache down the line.
So, you have to ask yourself, is your roof quietly failing right above your head right now? Because here's the crazy thing. By the time you actually notice that ugly water stain blooming on your ceiling, the structural failure has likely been happening totally in the dark for months. We kind of tend to think of roof damage as this sudden, dramatic event, right? But the reality? It's way more insidious. It's a slow, silent breakdown.
To help you prevent a sudden financial disaster, consider this explainer your ultimate survival guide. We're going to cover 4 main things. Number 1, the weather war. 2, the mechanics of failure. 3, true cost and insurance. And 4, avoiding scams. All right, let's jump right in.
Part 1, the weather war, using Matthews, North Carolina as our ground zero.
Let's use the humid subtropical climate of Matthews, North Carolina as our perfect proxy for extreme conditions. Look at how these elements work together as a literal daily assault on your house. You've got 90+ degrees summer heat that expands and cracks brittle materials, literally baking the adhesives. Then, high humidity swoops in, promoting biological growth and rotting the wood. Add to that severe winter freeze-thaw cycles. Those will split your shingles wide open. Throw in severe storms, bringing 90-mile-per-hour winds that try to rip them clean off, hail that completely shatters the protective granules, and debris from mature tree canopies constantly punishing the surface. I mean, your roof is basically fighting a relentless, multi-front war every single day.
Moving on to part 2, why roofs actually fail, the system breakdown.
We really need to shift our perspective here, because your roof, it isn't just a layer of individual shingles, it is an interconnected defense network. Think of it like a giant puzzle. It includes your structural decking, moisture-blocking underlayment, critical metal flashing around things like your chimney, and crucially, proper attic ventilation. Now here's the kicker. If your attic lacks proper airflow, trapped 150-degree summer heat will literally cook those surface shingles from the inside out. Yeah, inside out. And it'll rot your decking. A failure in ventilation basically cuts your roof's lifespan right in half, completely regardless of how expensive or good the materials are on top.
Let's actually trace the journey of a hidden leak, because this shows exactly why a leak rarely happens directly above a ceiling stain. First, water enters through a cracked shingle or maybe a bad corroded piece of flashing. But it doesn't just drop straight down. No, it travels horizontally along your wood decking or down your rafters. Eventually, it drips, completely soaking and ruining your fiberglass attic insulation. And then, months later, bam! You finally see an unsightly water stain on your interior ceiling. This is exactly why you absolutely need professional leak detection to find the true source. Patching the roof directly above that interior stain, that almost never solves the actual problem.
All right, Section 3, True Cost and Insurance, the financial reality of replacement.
15. That number right there represents the absolutely critical 15-year age mark. And you know why that matters? Because that is exactly when many insurance carriers in places like North Carolina will red flag a roof to restrict coverage or even drop your policy down to mere actual cash value. If your roof is creeping up on this age, you might start seeing non-renewal notices, or worse, if a huge storm hits, you could be left covering a massive depreciation gap entirely out of your own pocket simply because the insurance company won't pay for the full replacement cost anymore.
While it's super common for us homeowners to completely obsess over the price of standard base materials, like, the shingles themselves, this table shows that the actual cost drivers are hidden multipliers. Check out the right side. Replacing rotted plywood decking that you had no idea was ruined, navigating a super steep roof pitch that requires extra safety gear, or dealing with complex valleys and multiple dormers. All of that drives up labor costs intensely. Plus, modern building codes might require upgrades your old roof didn't even have, like specific synthetic underlayments or ice and water shields along the edges. Honestly, this is exactly why quick, over-the-phone estimates are almost always completely inaccurate.
Finally, Section 4, Avoiding Scams, the Homeowner's Shield.
Look, whenever severe weather strikes, aggressive storm chasers are going to show up in your neighborhood. It's just a fact. You have got to run, not walk, run, from contractors who knock on your door uninvited after a big hailstorm or who pressure you to sign some vague contract with a massive upfront deposit. Those are huge red flags.
Legitimate contractors, your green flags, they're going to have a local physical address, not just some random P.O. box. They will provide detailed line-by-line written estimates, they'll pull the correct permits from the county, and they'll actually welcome your questions. Oh, and be incredibly wary of anyone offering to illegally waive your insurance deductible. Just don't do it.
Now, pay very close attention to this next part. Never, ever hire an independent contractor without verifying their workers' compensation insurance. Why? Because if they fall off your roof, your own homeowner's insurance might just deny the claim and leave you financially devastated. In states like North Carolina, the liability trap means an uninsured roofer can actually sue you directly for their medical bills, lost wages, and pain and suffering. Asking for proof of active insurance isn't just a polite formality, it is an absolute must. It's a critical shield for your financial livelihood.
I need the cheapest option possible. Listen, this is the ultimate taboo phrase you should never ever utter to a roofer. I mean, unless you actually want them to cut corners. Demanding the absolute cheapest option is basically an open invitation for them to reuse old, corroded flashing, or just slap down basic felt instead of a proper synthetic underlayment. Cheap roofing fails incredibly fast. And whatever you think you're saving today, it's going to cost you tenfold in water damage and structural rot tomorrow. Trust me on that one.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this. Do you actually know the true age and condition of your roof right now? Or are you just sitting there waiting for your ceiling to stain? I really hope this deep dive empowered you to take back control. Go check your insurance policy's fine print about that critical 15-year mark, and maybe go inspect your attic's ventilation before the next major storm rolls through. Thanks so much for joining me, and stay safe out there.